Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to my 2024 TED Talk. My name is Julian Dugas, and today we'll be talking about the effects of music on the brain. In this clip, as you can see, Freddie Mercury Queen performing at Live Aid in Wembley Stadium full of 76,000 people. All right. 76,000 people. Oh. 76,000 people. So, why did I show you that? Well, as you saw there, Freddie Mercury with his body language, performer's body language, he used his fist as a sign of like, follow me, I'm the leader, listen to what I'm saying, like doing his vocal warm-ups, as well as this was after performing the first couple of songs, which were some high energy songs, like I'm sure you guys heard Bohemian Rhapsody. That was that got the crowd into a high energy, which further prompted the crowd to follow what Freddie Mercury was doing up on the stage. So, this is also seen with other performers as well. For example, here, Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, and, well, Led Zeppelin, they were, as you know, Led Zeppelin's music is highly notorious for rock. It's one of the most influential rock bands. They are the most influential rock band in history. Here you can see their high energy performers. This was them performing at Madison Square Garden in New York. That was a sold out concert. As you know, Madison Square Garden can hold over 65,000, 70,000 people. And during that concert, they were all over the place. The crowd was just high energy, screaming the whole 3 hours they were playing. However, if you notice on the left side of the screen, that is a Cigarettes After Sex performance. That is a known band to be more like softer indie music. And as you can see, just based on their body language, they're more subtle, more relaxed, playing more slower, less energetic music. So, okay, so why does this matter? Why am I telling you stuff about a concert with a bunch of people and performers? Well, like I mentioned before, the body language of the performers is super, super important to the way that the performance plays out. If a performer is kept to themselves, less energetic, not going with the vibes of the song or the energy that is in, they'll notice a less intense reaction from the crowd. And on the other hand, if they were playing music that better attained to a more higher energy, they'll notice a larger reaction from the crowd. This is because of something called, body language and facial expressions. There's something in our brains called the limbic system that activates whenever there's something in the brain called the limbic system which activates whenever we listen to music. This system is responsible for memory, learning, and sexual activities. Basically, this area has four major parts. The hypothalamus is an area that produces hormones that control the homeostasis, that keeps our bodies in homeostasis. The thalamus, which is an information relay station, think of it as like the grand central station of your brain. All of that information that comes from our bodies is brought to this point and addressed accordingly. The amygdala is the decision-making part of our brain, and it adapts behaviors and instincts to the environments that we are in. And the hippocampus, this is the part of the brain that's responsible for memory, learning, and emotion. I'm sure most of us here have seen Inside Out. That Disney Pixar movie. The super tall tower that the emotions live inside, that is the hippocampus. Memory, learning, and other things. So why does this matter? Well, as I mentioned before, as music triggers the limbic system, which, like I said, is responsible for memory, learning, and activities. Music plays an important role in cultural celebrations as well. Music acts as a vibe setter, kind of getting everyone into the sort of mood or tone that this cultural celebration is celebrating. For example, a funeral versus a wedding. You may notice more subtle, sadder, soft music at a funeral versus at a wedding, which is often accompanied with a organ, happier more tones and notes played, and better vibes than a funeral, I would definitely say. Teachers and teachers. Sorry. Oops. Whoa. Teachers alike also take advantage of this, especially seen in Spanish and math teachers. With Senor Woolley, they use music to teach Spanish and to get us to memorize and teach. They use they use music to teach Spanish and to better help the memorization of Spanish. When we listen to a Senor Woolley song, I'm sure all of us have here, it gets stuck in our heads for weeks on end, sometimes days, weeks, months even, and this is exactly what they want. They want the song to get stuck in our head, so that way we can keep on remembering these Spanish phrases and the words that are associated to what you're trying to communicate. This is also seen in math teachers as well when teaching formulas, like Andy, sophomore year, teaching us about tessellations. I can't remember this whole song off the top of my head, but it was a very annoying song that was stuck in my head for weeks, and many others' head for weeks. And it basically taught us a formula about tessellations and how we could find a tessellation in a shape. So like I said before, it triggers our limbic systems, which is the part that is associated with memory and memory and learning. This also is associated with Broca's area, which is a section of the brain that controls our speech. It controls the muscles around our mouth that allow us to formulate words. So with this as well as the limbic system, singing the songs, or singing along to the songs like I just mentioned, will further assist in the memorization of either Spanish or math or whatever you're singing to learn that. Another example, I'm getting ahead of myself. This here is a chart on why music is important for early child development. It increases discipline, as I've seen in myself, because music is super important to me. I try to practice at least 2 to 3 hours every day, sitting down on my drums or piano, making sure I have all my rudiments and scales, and making sure that I remember what I was trying to accomplish either the days before or weeks before. This also helps with self-confidence and better self-expression. Kids can better express themselves through music because it is seen as a way to kind of touch into yourself and touch into where you are from as a person, and express that through song, whether it be through rhythmic beats or through melodic scales. Music and movies. Another example of music being used as not only a learning tool, but as a way to emotionally communicate is through this movie, Interstellar. In this clip, we see the main character and his two offspring getting a flat tire in a cornfield. Of course, when we all get flat tires, we aren't super duper excited about having a flat tire. You have to get out, change it. We're stuck on the side of the road, stranded. And the main character here also, he is a single father, and he's trying to find what it means to be a father. I'm not sure why there's no audio.
Use the remote. Just turn it up on the pointed at the projector. See the volume on there?
Yep.
Yeah, just turn it up on there.
Basket.
There you go.
How much was the patch down there? Figure it out. No, I can figure it out. Get in. Get in, let's go. What about the flat tire?
I don't need to play the whole clip, but as you can see, the emotion through the character was better expressed through the music, as it followed what his actions were doing, and it makes us into the character pretty much, and allows us to connect with that first person aspect of the movie. Hans Zimmer here, the composer of the music for this movie, described here his writing process for the movie, and basically describes how his
composers in what it meant to be a father. Think of yourself to a point that you don't have final say over the finished item. I mean, that is still always the director, I guess.
It
is. I mean, but then I have like the way I work with Chris Nolan, we have this weird way of working whereby, like he tells me the story. You know the thing about Interstellar. I'll tell you. So I brought it to Chris, and he goes, listen, if he were to write something, just write me a letter with just a metaphorical story. It had nothing to do with the movie, and he would never tell me what the movie was about. Would I give him a day, just write whatever came to me?
So you would compose based not on the script.
No, just on this,
this idea.
So this letter arrived, and there's this beautiful story about what it meant to be a father, and so yeah, I spent a day writing, and I phoned his house at about 10 o'clock at night on Sunday. His wife answered, and I said, Emma, I've done it. Do you want me to send it over? She goes, oh, Chris is curiously antsy. He's like pacing up and down. Do you mind if he comes over? So he came over and he sat down on the couch, and I said, okay, I'll play to you. And I played him this fragile little piece that I'd written about my son, really, relationship with my son. And I get to the end of it, and I'm going, so what do you think? Well, I better make the movie then. I'm going, what is the movie? And he started talking about,
He's one of the most successful.
So, basically, his writing in that piece, Cornfield Chase, he didn't mention it before because it started at a different point, but this was him writing Cornfield Chase, that song I just showed you about his truck going through the cornfield, which prompted Christopher Nolan, the director of the movie, to further create the movie and further describe go on what Hans Zimmer believes is what it means to be a father. So I know that was a lot. It was kind of all over the place, which is why I want to bring it to conclusions. First of all, music is a way to improve communication, both verbally and physically. Body language dates back thousands of years, and verbal communication evolved from, according to BBS, verbal communication evolved from physical communication roughly 10,000 years ago. And from this, we were able to communicate verbally, like better express ourselves emotionally, but accompany that with hand movements, body language, like our facial expressions, as well as overall body language, like if a person's standing, how a person's standing, how a person's holding their arms, hands, etc. 2, our brain's limbic system lights up and triggers positive endorphin releases, which then causes more positive emotions to come out. This is also used for focus as well. These endorphins that are released are also known to be focus enhancers and enhance our ability to work on a certain task or object or something we were doing with much more focus and much more precision. And 3, teachers use music to teach. Spanish teachers and math teachers oftentimes use music to teach Spanish words and Spanish phrases and math functions or math stuff. Basically, this is because it triggers the limbic system, which is associated, like I said, with memory learning and sex drive. And yeah.
All right. Thank you very much,
If you guys
Julian.